Starship V2's grand debut marked the beginning of an exhilarating new chapter in space exploration. With Flight 7 just on the horizon, potentially even sooner than anticipated, the excitement is palpable. Adding to the momentum, the FAA has issued a positive update, further accelerating progress. Naturally, this might not sit well with slower-moving competitors like Blue Origin, but for SpaceX enthusiasts, it's the perfect way to kick off an exciting week. Let's dive into all the details in today's episode of Great SpaceX. At Starbase, the buzz continues to build following the thrilling fire test with Booster 14. Yet for those accustomed to SpaceX's rapid advancements, the pace may feel a touch slower than expected. Unsurprisingly, all eyes are now fixed on Ship 33, with its every move being scrutinized in anticipation. The journey of S-33 has been one of meticulous preparation and growing anticipation, paving the way for SpaceX's ambitious plans for Flight 7. On December 11th, just one day after Booster 11 returned to the production site, S-33 embarked on its much-awaited transition from Megabay 2 to Massey's test site. Upon arrival, it was firmly secured to the SQD test stand, marking the start of an intense testing phase. What followed, however, was an unexpected period of calm, leaving enthusiasts eagerly awaiting the next breakthrough. The silence was momentarily broken on December 14th, when S-33 underwent a fueling process. Observations during this phase showed that liquid oxygen was fully loaded, while methane levels increased only slightly. Strong venting from nearby tanks further indicated preparations for a potential static fire test. Yet the frost line on the vehicle gradually receded as the fuel was unloaded, leaving the day to conclude with only a cryo-load test conducted under dense fog. Finally, on December 15, the long-anticipated static fire test took place. After 4 days at the Massey test site, the fueling process commenced in the afternoon, lasting nearly an hour. This time, the preparation mirrored that of the previous test, but concluded with a thrilling outcome. At exactly 2:14 p.m. Central Time, the engines of S-33 roared to life, firing for 9 powerful seconds. All 6 Raptor engines, which had been installed earlier, ignited simultaneously, producing an estimated combined thrust of nearly 15 tons. These engines, the latest Raptor 2 models, boast impressive capabilities: 230 tons of thrust at sea level and 258 tons in vacuum. The result was a spectacular display of raw power, creating a massive plume of smoke further amplified by the efficient flame trench system. The test concluded successfully, with no reported issues from the engines or the test stand. The flame trench system, which has proven its durability time and again, emerged unscathed, reinforcing its potential for long-term use. SpaceX quickly shared a clear video of the static fire test on social media, captioning it, "Static Fire, a Flight 7 Starship." Elon Musk himself joined the conversation, responding with, "Preparing Starship 7 for flight," fueling speculation about the imminent timeline for Flight 7. Journalist Christian Davenport, known for his reliable updates on SpaceX and the FAA, added further excitement by stating on X, "January 11th is the date being thrown around for this flight, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's earlier than that." While January 11th has been earmarked by NASA for observing Starship's reentry in the Indian Ocean, SpaceX's remarkable pace of progress suggests the launch date could be moved forward. The successful static fire test marks the completion of Flight 7's hardware separation tests, paving the way for the next steps. Now, S-33 will return to the production site for thorough inspections. These checks are critical, as Flight 7's mission will push the spacecraft to its limits. The engines, for instance, will be reignited in space to test their functionality in a vacuum environment, followed by a controlled landing in the ocean. Additionally, the V2 heat shields and flaps, key upgrades designed to withstand the intense conditions of reentry, will undergo meticulous evaluations. After inspections are complete, S-33 and its partner Booster 14, which is also being evaluated at Megabay following its own test, will be transported to the launch site. There, the 2 vehicles will undergo integration testing to ensure seamless coordination during the mission. If these steps proceed as planned, the countdown to liftoff could begin before January 11th, potentially bringing Flight 7 even closer. Flight 7 represents a critical milestone for SpaceX. As the first V2 Starship flight, It introduces a more powerful and efficient spacecraft designed to set new benchmarks for space exploration. This mission will also lay the groundwork for SpaceX's goal of catching Starship during its next flight, a crucial step toward achieving full reusability. Looking further ahead, SpaceX's ambitious vision includes an unprecedented cadence of launches, involving 25 Starship flights in 2025 and a staggering 400 flights within the next 4 years. The implications of these advancements extend far beyond SpaceX. The aerospace industry as a whole is on the brink of transformation, with Starship promising to revolutionize not only space exploration, but also commercial spaceflight. Its potential for rapid reusability and high-frequency launches will lower costs and open new opportunities for scientific research, interplanetary travel, and beyond. To all enthusiasts and supporters, let's channel our excitement for this historic flight. Share your readiness by replying with 7 in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us grow and reach new milestones, such as achieving 200,000 subscribers. Together, we are part of an unprecedented era in the aerospace industry, and for that, we thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. Now, to achieve a more efficient future for the aerospace industry, we must acknowledge the evolving role of the FAA. If Flight 7 stays on track, the approval process is expected to proceed smoothly, a prospect reinforced by the FAA's recent positive updates, something almost unthinkable in the past. In November, the FAA announced the establishment of the Space-Related Aerospace Rulemaking Committee, SPIRC, to review licensing processes, particularly regulations under Part 450. This marks a significant step forward. On December 13th, the FAA unveiled another critical development aimed at streamlining licensing procedures. The agency will now accept flight safety analyses conducted by federal launch ranges in Florida, California, and Virginia. These safety analyses will be included directly in launch license applications. Key federal ranges include Space Launch Delta 30 at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California, Space Launch Delta 45 at Cape Canaveral, Space Force Station and Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, which oversees the Wallops Flight Facility and the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport in Virginia. In practical terms, this change eliminates the need for companies to duplicate safety analyses specifically for the FAA, reducing redundant work during the licensing process. Kelvin Coleman, the FAA Associate Administrator, described the initiative as a force multiplier for the aerospace sector, highlighting how it lessens the paperwork burden on applicants and helps to speed up the FAA review process. Duplication has long been a source of frustration for the industry, significantly delaying launch schedules. The issue has been a frequent topic in hearings, with industry stakeholders urging reform. In 2023, the Commercial Space Transportation Advisory Committee, or COMSTAC, recommended that the FAA accept safety reviews and approvals from federal launch ranges to reduce the workload for both operators and the FAA itself. This recent decision reflects a direct response to those concerns, signaling a turning point for the industry. The FAA's shift in approach represents the beginning of a new era for the U.S. aerospace sector. Alongside the Spark initiative, leadership transitions are also on the horizon. On December 12th, FAA Administrator Michael Whitaker announced his plans to step down from his position on January 20th, 2025, though no specific reasons were given. As the aerospace industry progresses rapidly, the FAA appears poised to evolve in parallel. Its willingness to embrace faster, simpler, and more decisive regulatory practices will play a crucial role in helping the U.S. maintain its competitive edge in the global space race. This alignment between industry innovation and regulatory reform is essential for sustaining momentum and meeting the challenges of the future. This is excellent news for fast-moving companies like SpaceX, further highlighting the vast gap between them and their slower competitor, Blue Origin. While SpaceX has successfully completed all static fires for Flight 7 hardware, Blue Origin's New Glenn, which was initially expected to launch before SpaceX's Flight 5, remains grounded. As of now, New Glenn hasn't even undergone testing. According to Dave Limp, this delay is due to awaiting FAA testing approval. With the final days of 2024 slipping away, it seems increasingly unlikely that Blue Origin will complete the four critical steps required for launch: securing a testing license, conducting testing, obtaining a launch license, and executing the actual launch. At this point, merely completing the testing phase by year's end would likely be considered a significant milestone for Blue Origin. However, the reality remains stark. Blue Origin seems on track to add yet another year of suborbital operations to its record, continuing to lag behind not only SpaceX, but also a growing number of emerging players in the space industry. This lag is particularly disappointing given the company's vast resources and ambitious goals. Despite the FAA's recent strides in streamlining the licensing process, Blue Origin's slow pace threatens to leave it far behind. A frustrating and ironic position for a company with such immense potential. The situation has become dire enough to imagine a future where licensing agencies might jokingly ask, Blue Origin, would you launch, please? While this might sound humorous, it underscores the growing exasperation surrounding their repeated delays. Jeff Bezos and his team face mounting challenges, and whether they will rise to meet them remains an open question. Share your thoughts on this situation in the comments below, and if you find the irony in their predicament amusing, don't hesitate to drop a laugh emoji. Stay tuned to see how Blue Origin navigates its future. Thank you for joining us today, and as always, this has been Kevin from Great SpaceX. Until next time, keep looking up.